Hello everyone, this is Aneel Khowaja. I'm a registered migration agent and co-founder Thinker Consultants. Another exciting live ke saath, we are here. We would be discussing about the current state sponsorship updates and what are the invitations rounds and how things are working out, especially towards the Australian immigration. Exciting 1.5 last month, and the lots of invitation came, especially for 190, 491, and even 189s. An unexpected round happened few weeks last week, and we have got heaps and heaps of 189 invitations, especially for the offshore applicants. So we would be discussing on those two. Uh, Before we start, happy Diwali to everyone who celebrates Diwali. It's an amazing event and a holiday, and probably we are also here at Think Higher would be celebrating Diwali today. So wish you all the very best in advance. Now let's get back to the topic. So state sponsorships. Every state has now formally opened state sponsorship for onshore and offshore. Especially lot of invites from Victoria, Western Australia, even South Australia, and eventually the Queensland and New South Wales. Unfortunately, they are pretty slow. New South Wales hasn't opened the 491 yet as well, so they are still awaiting. The RDAs are waiting for final verdict from the New South Wales Treasury, whereas Victoria, Western Australia, and South Australia has been inviting heaps of people. So lots of people who have lodged their ROIs, they've been invited, either they're from offshore or onshore. Whereas we have seen last week amazing news about 189 occupations. But unfortunate part was lots of people who have lost their EOIs, they haven't seen their skill assessment or English test has been expired. Now, since they have got an invitation, they don't have an opportunity to update that one. There are few cases where we can do a skill assessment update to their current EOI despite of getting an invite. The rest of the things you cannot update. So quite an unfortunate for those who've been invited but they don't have the the current or valid the requirements, which is the part of the essential EOI invitation. But again, yet again, it's an awesome news. 189 been invited, lots of engineers been invited for 189. And what we have seen, even though they have very less points like 65, 70, or 75, they all been invited, and various type of engineers. So from industrial engineer to biomedical to electronics, telecom, lots of civil, mechanical, electrical. So all of the engineers been invited. Even we have got 10 to 12 plant or production engineers, which were not in the priority, but still they have got invites. So it's quite amazing. Unfortunate part for accountants, no more hope. Again, they might need to go with the study stream or a small business stream in Queensland. Apart from that, there are different states which are giving study streams, but there is no much hope for the accountants. But for other occupations like engineering, IT, trade, the heaps of more invitations coming down the line. My prediction for 189 invitation rounds are that they might start inviting every month. Instead of going to the quarterly invitations, they might be inviting every month. So I presume that the next invite would be on 22nd or 23rd of October. So you need to keep an eye on your emails. On the same timelines, the Victoria will be also inviting, and this time the Victoria would have even bigger invitation round. Might be possible that they invite lots of 190s and 491 for offshore applicants. So keep an eye on your emails, because lots of these Victorian invitations comes directly to your inbox. Sometimes it goes to the junk emails as well. So you need to ensure that you keep checking your emails specifically with the timelines, or you have to inline your updates, or you have to like, subscribe to our social media in order to get an updates of when the invitation rounds are happening, and then you can check your emails. Interesting news, Western Australia has also invited lots of 491s for the offshore, specifically IT occupations, even for trades and nurses. So if you are in one of those trades, try to look into your, say again, to your emails, or just run through your EOI. You might be invited. Western Australia and Victoria more likely give you a pre-invite. So you have to then submit the documents. After submission of documents, you've been invited to apply for the specific visa. Whereas 189s or 491 family-sponsored visas, they are directly invited by the department. So you won't be getting any pre-invite. You have to keep check your EOIs that nothing has been missed. Or even though if you're any obsolete information, make sure you put up the information in there. Now, another important thing, lots of trades would be invited this time. So say if you applied as a cook, chef, or maybe a plumber, or maybe a telecom technical officer, or perhaps you name it, whatever, even the metallurgist, or those who are fabricators, these all can be invited in next round. That's what my prediction is. So if you're under these category, make sure that your EOIs are well updated. Whatever the work you are doing it, make sure that you update those the work experience into the EOIs, because that really matters, especially in terms of Victoria. They do see the work experience being properly updated, so they may invite you. So make sure that this is being critically seen and assessed before you get an invite, because once you get an invite, then there is no way back. So lots of people do this mistake, and eventually they have to lose their very important life-changing invitation, which comes once in a blue moon. So we'll take a short break. After the break, I would expect that if you're watching me, whatever questions you may need to ask, you can put in the comment box. I'm more than happy to take the questions. Then I'll go with one of the important tips for 476. I have specifically, recorded a video for 476. Those who are offshore, they are still waiting for the 476 visas. They still have golden opportunity to get an invite for 189 as well. So do watch my video. We'll take a short break. After the break, we'll discuss about how to manage your 189 applications who have just got an invite. All right, so welcome back, team. So we were discussing about the 189 since most of the people who were waiting for so long have got the invitations. Now, how to manage your application? You need to understand there is a Schedule 60 which tells you which points can be submitted down the line. For instance, if you have taken up the partner points, and you have submitted your VIC skill assessment, but that has been expired, or your partner English requirement. So these type of requirements, you can submit the updated English results for your wife or your partner along with the skill assessment if that is expired. Whereas your skill assessment or your English cannot be updated. Whereas there are a few skill assessments where we generally can apply for renewal and submit it. There is a very strong precedent from the federal court where they have specifically guided the Department of Home Affairs and even to the AAT not to refuse the application based on if you have a time of 60 days to submit the updated skill assessment and other important documents. But again, it's department discretion. If they read the law as per what they have mentioned, they may reject your application. You have to go to the review process. But again, there is a way to revert back these stuffs. So do contact us if you have got invitation, but you're stuck with such kind of issue. We're more than happy to assist you and we'll guide you through how that can be worked out. Now for the 189, the important tips is you must have all your valid documents. Submit application decision ready because department will process these applications quite quickly these days. You must need to add your form 80, form 1221 if you have it, and try to keep updated the department all the new information coming. For instance, if you have changed the address, make sure you update the details into the email account. If you have changed the passport, you have to update it. Whatever the change of circumstances need to update during the process, so at least department can make the application you can make the application decision ready and department can take the decision in your application to grant you the visa. Once you have an 489, 189 over 491 invitation, and if your all information are correct, the less than 0.01 chances they may reject your application. The only rejection comes in if you have submitted fraudulent documents or you might have not submitted the right documents to the department which they have requested for, or whatever the points you have claimed you're not able to submit the right evidences, then they might reject your application. Otherwise, they ask you to submit the information, the further information, or if they got any adverse information, they may ask you to submit the explanation, but they generally don't straight away reject the application. So that's the beauty of applying for the permanent residency applications. Whereas prepare yourself if you have lived more than 12 months collectively in any of the countries, then you must need to have the police checks, the police clearance certificates of all the countries, and also you must need to have an AFP. But that can be submitted. These all police checks and everything can be submitted during the process, not at the time of application, because it's a Schedule 2 requirement, not the Schedule 1. Schedule 1 requires the basic valid documents like your skill assessment, English, passport, and CCL, whatever you have claimed for the points. The rest of the documents can be submitted down the line. And even I've told you the partner points which we have claimed, those documents can be submitted later as well. So that's all for my side for the 189. Now 476 applicants were waiting for so long. Important tip. Lots of people are getting 189. So what you can do, you can get your skill assessment done based on the Washington Accord. As soon as you get that one, try to get 7 each. If you get 7 each, lodge your EY. Since you are offshore, location really matters as per the last invitation round. So if they do, because what my thinking is they do an alternate round. So the last round was for the offshore. This, as I said, that my prediction is going to be a monthly invitation round. So the next round would be in October. So those who are onshore, they might get it. And then if you're offshore, then keep offshore, put your skill assessment, English, try to grab at least 65 points. Since you're on a 476, since you are a 476 applicant, you might be one of the engineers. There are highly chances that they may invite you for 189. It's a great opportunity for engineers, so don't miss out. I think this is one of the very important and very crucial tip for those who wanted to apply for permanent residency with the quickest and the fastest pathway, and this is one of them. So don't miss this. If you're not sure how to apply for a skill assessment, contact ThinkHigh Consultants. We're happy to assist you. Whereas if you are stuck in any of the stages, we are more than happy to customize services for you, and we can obviously get you on board and happy to assist you in any matter. Lots of applicants now, they have got an invite by themselves. They're coming to us to lodge the application because they know the services we provide or the attention to detail we do it is impeccable, and we try our level best to make the application decision ready. Now we have a few questions, so I want my team to put up the question one by one and we'll give the answer. So the first one is, do you think Victoria consider offshore for subclass 190 as well, and which occupation they prefer? Victoria has already invited offshores. So one of our clients, she's on 75 points in IT, IT professional. She's a computer system network engineer. She has got an invite offshore. and we are lodging her pre-invite application. I think we have already lodged it day before yesterday. Now we're just inviting her the final outcome to come. And as soon as we get it, we'll put it on the social media so everybody knows the outcome. So yes, great chance for those who are applying offshore. You won't don't miss any opportunity. So you must have the backups, but don't miss opportunity. Lodge your EUIs and ROIs. Even though if you don't work in the nominated industry, still apply. There are heaps of opportunities are there. Let's take the second question. So what the chances of ICT security specialist of 189? Chances are pretty good. Lots of people are getting it. A 189 would be a bit difficult at this stage because I think most of the occupations are specifically for 189, they're inviting for engineers. So security specialist is a bit tough on 189. But yes, for the 190, heaps of opportunities. Victoria, even though if you're not working, you can apply. There are great opportunities out there. Those are specifically eyeing for 491, they can also apply Western Australia. But those who wanted to go with the 189 or 190, then Victoria is the state. So I would prefer that you should lodge your EU and ROI as soon as possible, Aman, and don't miss this opportunity if you are an ICT security specialist. Let's take the next question. So if someone has got a 189 invite but the skill assessment is expired, so is there any possibility to apply the visa and get the visa grant? Very interesting question. I have repeatedly given the answer of this question during my live. So anybody wants a complete answer, they can just scroll back once we have this recording published. Whereas I'll give you the answer again. So if you have got a 189, there are a precedent from the federal that you can still apply a new skill assessment and submit, but it needs to be for the specific occupation. So it's not like that if the skill assessment expired, you can straight away update the new one and submit. We need to see what information you have provided in the EUI and whether the renewal will work or not. Secondly, Department of Immigration can reject your application. So it's their discretion. So once the application would be rejected, you go to AT or the federal to apply for review. That's where we can fight and put that precedent, which we do have it, and then we can fight it for you and get your visa back and remit back to department to grant the visa. So that can be done. But whereas, to be honest, if the skill assessment has been expired, speak to your expert or registered migration agent or talk to a think hack consultant expert to give you the best possible advice whether it's possible or not. Let's go to the next question. So any date Tasmania opens up for Orange Priority? They have given the date that they're going to open mid-October. Still they haven't, but I believe they would be able to do it by end of the October or first week of November. That's what I have heard from our resources. So let's see. Yeah. All right. So Mohammed Ashad is asking, after getting 189 invite, what are the chances of getting a visa grant? Again, depends on what information you have provided on 189 invite. So for instance, if your informations are outdated or your lots of the documents now been expired, then obviously highly likely chances that the visa is going to refuse because you haven't updated the right information into your EY before getting an invite. But say if everything is fine, you have submitted each and everything up to date, then I don't think so there would be any issues not getting a visa grant. Yes, but you have to ensure that whatever the application you're submitting, that's spot on. I've already given the tips of how to manage the 189 application. Just run through my tips. It would be quite easier for you to launch the application. But again, if you're not expert, don't try it because it's a very expensive visa application. Because if you're a family, then you have to spend at least, family with 2 kids, easily $8,000, $9,000 into the fees. So it's better to get a professional who can lodge and submit your application. $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 won't mind, but it will save your hassle. It's going to be hassle-free. Plus, you would have a peace of mind that the professional has lodged your application, so you would have nothing to worry about at the end. I'll take one more question and then we'll wrap up this session. So Malik is asking, will New South Wales reduce points for some occupation? Malik, to be honest, no, I don't think so. They would be reducing anything. 491 invitations hasn't been granted yet. As I said, that they haven't given any advice to RDAs yet. So I believe that the current policy or whatever the list, along with the experience they have provided on the list, it will go for another 1 or 2 months. After that, might be next year they would be able to assess and reassess or maybe reconsider to reduce down the points, but it's very unlikely. I don't know why the New South Wales have given that policy, which is quite impossible to follow. But again, that's what their policy is. I believe they have lots of skilled workers. They already have it. So despite of giving all of them, the general skill migration, they keep lingering them for a temporary visa, so at least they can fill up the shortage, and then later down the line, after 6 months or 8 months, they might change up the policy. But again, this is what my observation is, and not 100% concrete. We need to just wait and watch, because if they haven't opened up 491 as yet, so might be possible they change some of the requirements for 491, not for 190, but might be possible for 491 for sure. Alrighty, so let's wrap up this session for today. Hope you have got ample information, and I would have given you right information to process your general skill migration, or if you haven't done it yet, so this is the high time. You have a great opportunity. There are heaps of quota left. Immigration has increased their 189 quota, whereas most of the states still have more than 80% of their quota left. This is a high time to lodge an application. Don't miss out. If you're not sure, contact your migration agent or contact ThinkHack Consultants. We are more than happy to assist you. All the very best, and inshallah, we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Hello everyone, this is Aneel Khowaja. I'm here for some exciting news. We are now offering UK visa services that includes health insurance, admission services, postgraduate visa, and many more. So currently we are offering some huge discounts. So contact my team and get more details.